Dude, scoot over.
We're still riding.
Yeah. So, I'm KJW.
I'm Jdoom.
Beast.
Oh, right, Jdoombeast.
I gotta tell you your own name. But to be fair, the movie that we just saw, he lost a few brain cells.
We're rioting.
So, a little history before. Back in the era of Cartoon Network, when they decided to run live action shows instead of cartoons, they decided to rip off Disney Channel and do live action TV movies. One of the starting ones was Scooby-Doo The Mystery Begins.
And oh boy, it's a treat. If you like a little bit of dog kibble in your brownies.
So, this vlog, we're going to do something a little different. Instead of just explaining the story to you,
We're just gonna riot.
I feel like we just need to talk about everything that's wrong with it.
I'm down.
Starting with the thing that you want to talk about the most, which, I'm just going to go ahead and say it this time. There will be spoilers. Not that you care.
It's a 10-year-old movie, guys.
It's Scooby-Doo The Mystery Begins. I'm pretty sure you won't go check it out. But let's go ahead and start with one of the biggest things in a Scooby-Doo anything, the mystery.
Right.
So, basically, these ghosts show up at their school. Which, by the way, this movie is basically the prequel, the origins of Scooby-Doo. Shaggy, Freddy, Velma, the gang, all the gang, and what their lives were like in high school. And the mystery behind it is that there are ghosts that pop out of nowhere and start scaring all the students, telling them to go away from the high school, and these kids get blamed for it. And there's also a third ghost who seems to be controlling the ghosts, and so the mystery is to figure out who the man in the mask is.
It's dumb.
So,
It's really dumb.
I think like after like the 1 hour mark, you figured it out. Like,
Yeah. Okay, so as soon as they were done showing, like, the suspects, we hadn't even gotten to the point where they were considered suspects yet, but I pretty much figured it out. And I was like, if it is X person for X reason, we're rioting. Because there's only, like, so many main characters. And, you know, Scooby-Doo always has to have at least one red herring, or two, or three.
So the suspects that they have are the janitor, the librarian, the vice principal, and the principal of the school. The janitor and the librarian are excluded out immediately, but through the librarian, Velma's able to figure out that there's a book that you can check out.
That's very interesting. The first part of it talks about the supernatural history of the location or whatever.
Right.
So,
The second book talks about hexes and spells, different kinds that you can use.
typical fanfare whenever the supernatural world collides with ours and the war happens.
But the third one, Jordan?
Oh, raising the dead and use them for your own evil purposes. You're not supposed to say evil purposes. Just say raising the dead. Everyone knows you're doing evil if you're raising the dead. That's like necromancy 101.
So they figure out that the vice principal, which I'm still trying to figure out how that record came whole, if it ends up being the person that it is. How did they figure out that the vice principal had the book? And why did the vice principal have the book?
The ghost planted it there.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair.
How else did they capture the vice principal? Think about it. There were literal gunshots going throughout his house, and he just didn't go check it on that? They'd already captured the principal. It was a trap from the get-go.
Got it. Okay, so they go to the vice principal's house. They find the book. Jordan, you explain it. I feel like you really want to talk about this.
So after they get the book, you know, they're like, we did it, we're getting away, and then the third ghost is there with forget me spray to knock him out. Sleep. Pretty much. So they wake up at the school. The ghost has dug a huge hole that I'm assuming was with dynamite, because he just happened to have that on hand. He just happened to have that.
We're gonna get to that.
Dynamite blasted a hole.
Because they find out that the ghost is trying to get everyone out of the school because there's a time capsule underneath the school. Because the school that they have now is a new school. The old school was built on top of it after a great flood wiped out everything. So I thought that they lived in Louisiana, but they live in Ohio because of that. But that's just a little side bet.
I want to understand where they were to have flooded in Ohio. Like, what body of water attacked them? I want to know that.
Anyway, so they get where were we? So the Spectre says, "Go down there and get the time capsule for me." And
you'll never get away with this, Principal Grimes.
Vice Principal Grimes, or you'll never see your dog again. We'll never get away with this, Vice Principal Grimes. Oh, well, here's Vice Principal Grimes right here. All right, go down there and get the time capsule. So they go down. They try to find the time capsule. They trick the Spectre into coming down because he thinks that it's too heavy. They trap him. Scooby comes down. They get the book. Okay, wait, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. They get the book. They turn the ghost back to normal. Scooby comes down, punches the ghost in the face, and ties him up. And so when they unmask him...
You missed the dynamite part.
Oh, right.
As somewhere in that brawl, after undoing the ghost, but before Scoob comes down, he just straight up pulls out a stick of dynamite and is like, "Aha! Avast! 'Tis I who has the higher ground." And then Scooby falls on his head, makes him drop it, punches him in the face, ties him up. And then they take off the mask and say, "Oh no, it's the principal!"
But that doesn't make any sense.
Why would he possibly want the time capsule?
Okay, are you ready for this? In the time capsule, there's a rare stamp.
A misprint. One of a kind.
That we learn about earlier.
In like the first 5 minutes of the movie, it's revealed the principal is a stamp collector. So,
And in that first 5 minutes, people are just able to assume, yeah, that's going to be the bad guy. It's going to have something to do with that stamp.
Which sucks, because it was, like, kind of cool. I kind of was hoping it would be the Nazi vice principal. That was my hope. That's where I was. That's the vibe I was getting. I would have been cool with that if, like, they actually went with that.
So, basically, the mystery itself... Jordan, what's your rating on the mystery?
In, like, numbers?
Yes.
Real or imaginary?
Scale of 1 to 10.
Like a 3? Like a 3?
I'm gonna put this somewhere... Not as bad as the Detective Pikachu movie, but still pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Still pretty darn
like,
close.
yeah, it's a kid's show, so you're not supposed to make it. Like,
But the original Scooby-Doo still... That was the whole point of Scooby-Doo, to be able to teach you how to... It was basically a beginner's guide to mysteries. This feels like discount Blue's Clues. And even then, not even that, because at least Blue's Clues is a little less subtle. It's a little more subtle than this. But that's just the mystery. Let's talk about the movie itself.
Do we have to?
Yes.
Okay, yes we do. The character design was nice. I didn't care for the fact that Flair wasn't blonde. That the majority of the time they didn't wear their iconic outfits, but they wore like some variations of it or things that someone of that like upbringing or like what's the word? Personality would actually wear. Like they have Velma bust out in a sweatshirt and some sweatpants, and I mean, come on. Come on. Who hasn't wanted to just walk around in sweats?
Velma, Daphne?
She wore really glitzy, glamoury stuff. It almost oversold it, but like the later half, she kind of toned it back down. It like felt more realistic.
I honestly kind of liked her in this movie. Her personality is really what.
To be true, the personalities for them were pretty good. Save like the early opening moments where they had to hammer the head in that this is the nerd, this is the girl who does drama, this is the jock, and this is the Shaggy.
This is the stoner.
This is the stoner. And here's his drug dealer dog.
Oh, speaking of which, let's Scooby and the CGI.
Can we not?
He's gonna have nightmares. That was so terrifying.
seeing like CGI eyeballs bulging out of a skull. Luckily, they weren't like all the way to where like the only like the little line pulling them back was the only thing. Like it was just looked like overdrawn water balloons, but still, man, it was just.
And I'm sorry, I know it's a TV movie, so you're gonna have a limited budget, but he didn't look like he was there at all. It's just
Yeah,
so
he kept
horrible.
randomly disappearing. It was
And
funny.
reappearing. I think there was like one scene at the end where they're all together and they're walking down the street, and it's only for like 2 seconds. That's it.
And then they immediately cut him out.
Right. It's either he's with Shaggy or somebody or some other character or by himself. Honestly, Scooby-Doo is barely in this.
Yeah. As
So-
to be expected.
But I can't believe I'm actually saying anything good about the live action movies. He was at least in them.
Yeah.
And he actually looked kind of real.
Carrie, they have a budget.
Okay.
Also, the proportions on Scooby were terrifying. He looked like some kind of overjacked bulldog, but with like no stomach. It was weird. It was horrifying. I'm not even gonna talk about the sonar ear. Really don't want to talk about the sonar ear.
Yeah, I get. Really, honestly, this movie, we could get mad at it, but
Man.
it's like the comparison I made earlier with you. It's like stubbing your toe on a bed. Yeah, you could get mad at it, but what's really the point? It's overall a bad movie. It's a movie that I remember seeing. I saw once as a kid, and I never saw it again. And I waited till the sequel. And from what I remember, I think the sequel's even worse.
Yay.
Oh wait, there's something we can talk about. All the shipping fuel. Let's get started.
Okay, so we got a little bit of Shaggy and the bus driver early on. Just
All right.
wait. I can do my full list, right? My full list, or do I have to keep short?
Just the ones that were in the movie, Jordan.
Okay, so we've got Shaggy and Velma, because Shaggy one time put his arm around Velma, and we all know what that means in this industry.
And I just said it right. I already told you that's gonna be in the sequel.
I'm looking forward to it.
No, you're not.
We've got
No, you're not.
Daphne and Velma just complimenting each other, honestly, being so surprised that their personalities weren't really what they thought they were, you know, just having a girl time, having a little bit of girl time. We got Fred on top of Velma for their little thing.
Which I don't remember anyone shipping them.
Internet.
At all. Okay, but I feel like Shaggy and Scooby have a little more fan art than that. Than them. Don't you?
I mean, if we're being honest, people with the most fan art is Daphne and Scooby, but we're not going to have that conversation on camera.
Look, I'm just saying, there's some kinds of ships that just people already do.
Yeah.
For example, we have the Pines twins. Good job, Disney.
Listen here. We talked about that. We talked about that.
Yes, we've talked about it. That doesn't mean anything.
No more. Never again.
God, I wish we would have done the sea logs in high school.
Dead inside. But I think we didn't hit the Fred and Daphne, but I mean Fred Daphne. It's just
Yeah.
You don't get in their way.
Yeah.
The only thing that gets in that way is traps, but we're not going to talk about. Oh yeah, the one trap we had in the movie, which was, let's make him come down here and then hit him with a cart. Trap done. We're good. We're set.
Genius.
Done.
And then there was the suspicious substance we found at the high school. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. So during their investigation, there's a scene where they go to the high school, and they go back to the scene of the crime where the ghost first appeared. So Velma has this this UV light, this light that lets you see things that are invisible, like on crime shows where you can see different blood, or
odd chemicals.
what we know that was. So we see this suspicious like white liquid all over the stage. He was on the floor. I had to pause the movie. It was actually pretty funny. I was like, well, now we know why it's PG.
Oh.
I mean, we were at a high school. So nothing to add to that. It's funny. Honestly, the only thing we've been talking about in this vlog is just we've been jumping all around the movie.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not a generally bad movie. The plot's pretty much what you would expect from any kind of Scooby-Doo show at all, you know? Especially for like an origin story. Meetup. They actually didn't spend a lot of time hammering in the meetup itself, which I kind of liked because it just kind of got to the point. We got our Mystery Machine cameo. They dropped all the appropriate lines. I think
there were one or two. There were a couple of jokes where
there were a few
that got a legitimate laugh out of me. When did you wear glasses?
You know what?
That was one of the jokes in the movie. No lie, I actually made the joke before the movie did, and I didn't even mean to.
Still annoyed about that.
I totally forgot about it.
The movie makes the joke twice, and I am done with it. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad joke.
The only bad thing is that the mystery was just so horrible.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected from some bad kids films. It's just your everyday run-of-the-mill bad kids film. It's not as bad as Zombies or, God forbid, Norm of the North or the Emoji Movie or some modern bad kids films that we have today.
Yeah, an effort was made. It was more or less just kind of a nostalgia trip because it threw all the lines in. I think the only one they really missed was, my glasses! I can't see without my glasses!
Or, Scooby-Doo, where are you? And they messed it up!
Twice they had the opportunity to get it right, and they dropped the ball.
So, as an adaptation of Scooby-Doo, it's just another version. As a movie, it's just bad, not anger-inducing, like, oh my god, this film is offensive.
We're still writing.
Yeah, we're still writing for that mystery, but just, you're okay kind of bad. Not enjoyable, but not exactly memorable. I think that's the best way to end this.
Yeah, pretty much. We covered everything.
I'm KJW.
I'm Jdoombeast.
And hopefully we'll see you next time.